Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and honored area director. Phil's speech tonight, his presentation, was out of the professional speaker manual. It's the professional seminar. The objectives for this project were to plan and present a seminar with specific learning objectives, to relate to the audience by using seminar presentation style, and to use seminar presentation techniques in order to bring the lesson or the concepts to the audience in a way that we can take them home and come away with a greater perspective or new skills or some such. There were a lot of things that I liked about Phil's presentation along the lines of strictly the objectives, but then also things that he built into his presentation, not the least of which was reserve of his individual opinion. There are a couple things that I would suggest for tuning it for future presentations, and here we go. I'm going to go into them. A few things that I very much liked was that at the very beginning, Phil, you gave us the structure of what you were going to go into. And there was some structure to it, so trust me, I'm grateful. There were, I counted, besides your introduction, 6 segments as well as a conclusion. And you laid them out very clearly at the beginning, so that was very well done. You even adapted well and slid in our word of the day. One of the things that I also valued in what you brought up was a balanced viewpoint. One of the things that you emphasized was that there's no science to back up that there's an innate biological reality to the sexuality and identity, but also it is clearly not a choice. So then that you launched into a discussion of something that's very, very important in engineering and in science, the difference between correlation and causality. I think that was very crucial to your presentation. You also brought up the very key ingredient to this, that one of the, how can I not say key again? One of the very common results or conclusions of the review is that more studies are needed. One of the things, a couple of things, I've got a couple little nitpicky things. As far as your presentation goes, your gestures and your body motion, you did exactly what I'm doing right now. You did a lot of these, a lot of these. You don't need those, you're an experienced speaker. Distill down your gestures to have a purpose and to enhance that purpose. As well, your body motion. You had this great opportunity to say, you were talking about the florist case. You had the perfect chance to say, on the other hand, is the case made by the clients, and with evoked body motion. Missed that one, it'd be just a minor tweak that can be helpful. Into more engaging and meaningful observations, I would suggest there are a whole raft of audience engagement methods for a seminar. You used a few of them, and I'm very glad of that. You used question and answer, you used voting, and also discussion. And you didn't just leave it at, give me a show of hands, who are for, who are against, and most people abstained. You also gave people the opportunity to kick in their opinions to back up what their viewpoint was. Well done. I did notice that on one of them, I kind of got the feeling, on the very first one, I believe it was Kate's question, you maybe began to rebut. And there's not really the place for that. The place for that is when you're trying to make a point and trying to convince an audience of something. This was not the place. You, to your credit, reined that in, and thereafter, even during that very same response, let the comments, let the feedback be the feedback. Perfect. Very nicely done that. One especially if you're among scholarly types, more like, for example, if you're defending your thesis or something, don't defend it if you don't know, don't try to fake it if you don't know. Say, I don't know, I'm going to get back to you on that. So, and then just let that be, because that shows respect to the inquiry and respect to the topic at large, and also withholds the coloring or the feeling that it conveys that you're trying to put one over on people, which of course you're not doing. So, any other notes that I have, I will happily talk with you